Hello again, everybody. So this is going to be another one of those episodes where it's more off-the-cuff speaking and just a general PSA, like my last one on ending the political hostility. So this one, especially with the Mueller report out, is going to be about confirmation bias. Now, just to start, I pulled up a definition of confirmation bias that I think is pretty good. It's the tendency to interpret new evidence as confirmation of one's existing beliefs or theories. So essentially what that means is if you have a preset notion of what you think is the truth, and then a new piece of evidence comes out that could be interpreted either way, you're not sure, you automatically interpret that as confirming your side. And we see a lot of that in today's political society, especially with the main topic of this video, which is going to be the Mueller report. So I've really noticed how in politics, people really have a lot of confirmation bias, and it was even proven with silly things. Like in the 2016 election, I remember there was a ton of talk about what like the ancient philosopher Nostradamus thought. Some people thought that his ramblings, or maybe not ramblings, but his sayings confirmed that Hillary Clinton would win. Other people thought that they confirmed that Donald Trump would win. And as you'd expect, the people who were Democrats thought the former, and the people who were Republicans thought the latter. And obviously, I'm not a believer in that he could predict the future. So obviously, like, these sorts of things are quite silly, and it's just another example of confirmation bias. And we see it; it's very prevalent in today's society and in the more recent events too. For example, in the Covington Catholic scenario, the Democrats and the Democratic media, such as CNN, MSNBC, were quick to condemn the Christian Covington Catholic boys, whereas the Republicans were quick to defend them. And just a lack of evidence really came out. It was just a short clip of the video. There wasn't really any context, but people jumped to both sides without saying, let's wait to see the facts. Additionally, in the Jussie Smollett case, the Democrats were quick to condemn. We're quick to condemn society. They were quick to defend Jussie Smollett. The Republicans, on the other hand, were very quick to say that he's probably lying. This didn't happen. Of course, we had to wait until more evidence came out. And now that Jussie Smollett was recently, or the charges were dropped, the Democrats are now going back, or a lot of Democrats are going back to saying we're not sure what happened. Maybe Jussie Smollett framed it, maybe he didn't, and the Republicans are saying he definitely framed it. It definitely didn't happen. So it's just an example of confirmation bias, because you see how each political party takes a separate angle, and it's just without waiting for all the facts to come out. And even when the facts do come out, they still try to spin it to confirm their narrative, which is obviously a horrible thing. Now, specifically on the Mueller report. So I really didn't like how the media and people portrayed this, because all throughout Donald Trump's presidency thus far, the Democrats have been saying, it's not legitimate. There was Russian collusion. I'm sure there was, et cetera, et cetera. And the Republicans were quick to say that's a witch hunt. You're speaking mindless drivel. He clearly didn't collude. But obviously, there was no definitive evidence that Trump did collude with Russia. Obviously, there were some hints. There wasn't like a 0% likelihood that he did. So it could have gone either way until more facts came out. But it was just very aggravating how both sides believed the narrative which would best suit them. And then when Attorney General Barr published his sort of summary of the Mueller report, the Republicans were quick to say he was completely exonerated, he's completely innocent, etc. And the Democrats were quick to say Barr is a tool of Donald Trump, Barr is a partisan hack, he's illegitimate, whatever, and Trump was guilty. And now that the Mueller report came out, I really don't like how, Donald Trump will, to my knowledge, not be convicted of collusion with Russia. There is no evidence that he intentionally and definitively colluded with the Russians in the 2016 election. And then the Democrats are saying, okay, well then let's jump to the next thing, confirmation bias. As in, I'm not saying there wasn't, not confirmation bias. There was, my apologies, there was obstruction of justice, sorry. And the Democrats are quick to say, okay, well, let's convict him of something. And the Republicans are saying, you're leading a witch hunt, but there might be evidence of confirmation bias. But I just don't like how both sides are quick to defend their own angle. And now, the main point of this video, why this is such a dangerous thing, I think it's a really dangerous thing because it proves how mired in our political beliefs we are, as in, we're so willing to defend our own side, and we're unwilling to see things from another point of view, which I think is really a horrible issue in our political societies, where because we're still unable to approach things from a different point of view and have a sort of political empathy, to coin a term, it's really horrible for our country because it means we can't compromise someone else because we always see that our side is correct and we always interpret that we have the correct angle, which is obviously a horrible thing. So I think an extremely important thing, I think an extremely important facet of trying to eliminate political hostility in our country is to try and just calm down when a piece of news comes out saying, I'm not sure what this proves. Maybe it proves my side, maybe it proves the other side, but let's wait until more facts come out and maybe even try to look at it from the angle of the other political party. Maybe say if you were a Republican in the 2016 election, you could say, maybe Donald Trump, did obstruct justice. Maybe he did collude with Russia. And if you were a Democrat, you could say, maybe Donald Trump did not collude with the Russians. There doesn't seem to be definitive evidence of that, and we'll wait on the obstruction of justice charge. So yeah, I think that really eliminating confirmation bias is an extremely important thing in today's society. And yeah, thank you for watching. I'm sorry if there was a little bit of rambling. This is no script sort of thing. It's just a video that I wanted to produce because I think that the issue of confirmation bias is seriously a problem in our society. So thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.